The moment fans thought would never happen is finally here. After years of longing, speculations, and endless theories, Graham Wardle, the actor who gave life to Ty Borden, has officially broken his silence. And this time it isn't just a nostalgic message or a passing reference. It's the announcement every Heartland fan has been waiting for. Graham is stepping back into the world of Heartland. His words have set the fandom on fire, sending shockwaves across social media, stirring both joy and disbelief. For so long, Ty's absence has felt like a missing piece in the Bartlett-Fleming family. Now that missing piece is about to return, and the story of Heartland will never be the same again. When Heartland first aired, nobody could have predicted how deeply the character of Ty Borden would become part of people's lives. Ty wasn't just another love interest for Amy Fleming. He was the heart of her journey, her partner, and the father of her daughter. His transformation from a troubled teen with a painful past to a devoted husband and father captured the essence of what Heartland has always stood for: growth, healing, and the power of family. From the very first episode, viewers were drawn to Ty's quiet strength. He wasn't perfect, and that was what made him real. His struggles with trust, his determination to build a better life, and his undeniable bond with Amy created some of the most heartfelt moments in the show. Together, Ty and Amy became the soul of Heartland. Their love story wasn't built on grand gestures but on shared struggles, whispered promises, and a bond that endured against all odds. When season 14 arrived, everything changed. Graham Wardle made the difficult decision to step away from the role he had played for over a decade. Fans were devastated when Ty's story came to an end with his sudden passing. That moment wasn't just a plot twist. It felt like a personal loss for millions of viewers who had grown up with Ty. Many fans admitted they cried as if they had lost a family member. Because Ty wasn't just a character, he represented hope, perseverance, and love. The ripple effect of Ty's departure was felt throughout the series. Amy's grief became the center of the story, shaping the direction of later seasons. We saw her raising Lyndy as a single mother, struggling to find her place in a world without Ty by her side. Jack, Lou, and the rest of the family rallied around her, but the absence of Ty was undeniable. Each scene seemed to carry a shadow, a reminder of what was lost. For many fans, this new version of Heartland was bittersweet. The show continued to thrive, exploring new arcs and challenges, but there was always a sense that something essential was missing. Social media was flooded with fan campaigns, petitions, and heartfelt messages asking for Graham Wardle to return. Some hoped for flashbacks, others dreamed of miraculous storylines that could bring Ty back. But for years, Graham remained firm in his choice, explaining that he wanted to explore new paths and personal projects outside of acting. Still, the memory of Ty never faded. Fans kept his story alive, rewatching older seasons, creating fan edits, and writing theories about how he could someday return. The longing for his character became more than just a wish. It became a symbol of the deep, emotional connection people had with Heartland. Even as the show introduced new characters and storylines, Ty's name continued to echo through every corner of the fandom. That's why Graham Wardle's announcement has hit so powerfully. His journey in Heartland wasn't just about acting in a role, it was about becoming a part of something timeless. For years, fans carried the weight of his absence, and now, that weight is lifting. His return is more than a casting decision, it's a moment of healing, not just for the fictional world of Heartland, but for the millions of fans who never stopped believing in the power of Ty and Amy's story. When Graham Wardle said goodbye to Heartland after season 14, many fans were left asking the same question: why would he leave behind a role that had touched so many lives? The truth is, Graham's decision was not made lightly. He loved the show, the cast, and the fans, but he felt a calling to explore a different path, one that would take him beyond the ranch, beyond Ty Borden, and into a world where he could grow as both a storyteller and a person. After leaving Heartland, Graham didn't disappear from the public eye. Instead, he channeled his energy into new creative projects. One of the biggest ways he stayed connected with people was through his podcast, Time Has Come. In it, Graham spoke about personal growth, spirituality, and the courage to make life-changing decisions. For many fans, this podcast was more than just words. It was a window into Graham's heart and mind. He opened up about the challenges of leaving something familiar behind, and about the importance of following your intuition even when it leads you into the unknown. Through his podcast, Graham inspired countless listeners to take risks in their own lives. He encouraged people to reflect, to heal, and to embrace the idea that endings can also be beginnings. Fans who were devastated by Ty's death found comfort in hearing Graham's perspective. In many ways, he was teaching them how to grieve, how to accept change, and how to honor the past while moving forward. This connection showed that while Ty Borden was gone from Heartland, Graham Wardle was still offering guidance and comfort in a very real way. Aside from podcasting, Graham explored other creative avenues. He pursued photography and writing, sharing glimpses of his personal journey through images and reflections. These weren't just hobbies, they were expressions of his artistic soul. His photography often carried themes of nature, solitude, and self-discovery, echoing the same spirit that drew fans to Ty in the first place. Each photo felt like a quiet message. There is beauty in every stage of life, even in moments of change. But what stood out most was how Graham never forgot his Heartland family or the fans who supported him. He occasionally appeared at Heartland-related events and spoke warmly about his years on the show. He never dismissed the role of Ty, nor the impact it had on audiences around the world. Instead, he expressed gratitude, acknowledging that Heartland had been a defining chapter in his life. For Graham, leaving the show wasn't about walking away from the fans. It was about honoring his own journey while trusting that the story of Heartland would continue to inspire. And yet, even with his new projects, fans couldn't stop wondering, would he ever return? Each time he posted on social media, fans flooded the comments with pleas for him to come back. The demand never faded. The love for Ty was too strong. But Graham stayed silent on the subject, choosing instead to focus on his new path. For years, it seemed like his answer was clear. Ty's story had ended, and so had Graham's chapter on Heartland. That's what makes his official announcement so shocking. After so much time dedicated to growth outside of acting, after so many years where a return seemed impossible, Graham has decided to step back into the role that defined him for millions. His years away from Heartland were not wasted, they were necessary. They allowed him to discover new parts of himself, to heal, to reflect, and to bring back a deeper, wiser version of himself to the show. In many ways, Graham's life after Heartland mirrors Ty's own journey. Just like Ty stepped away from the chaos of his past to find peace and purpose, Graham stepped away from the spotlight to find his own truth. Now, both journeys are coming full circle. His return isn't just about picking up where the show left off. It's about bringing everything he's learned back into the role and into the lives of the fans who never stopped believing in him. This makes his comeback more than just a casting surprise. It's a reminder that sometimes stepping away is not the end, but the preparation for a greater beginning. Fans aren't just welcoming back Ty Borden, they're welcoming back a Graham Wardle who has grown, evolved, and chosen to return not out of obligation, but out of love for the story, the character, and the people who held on to hope for all these years. It started quietly, like a ripple in still water. For years, fans had learned not to expect too much when Graham Wardle posted online. His updates were thoughtful, inspiring, and personal, but never about Heartland. People had stopped holding their breath, assuming that the chapter of Ty Borden was closed forever. But then, almost without warning, something changed. Graham's voice, his message, and his timing, all of it came together in a way that nobody could have predicted. The announcement began not with flashy headlines or big press events, but with Graham himself speaking directly to the fans. He had always valued authenticity, and this moment was no different. In a heartfelt video posted across his official platforms, Graham addressed the whispers, the hope, and the questions that had followed him since season 14 with his calm yet emotional tone. He confirmed the words that every Heartland viewer had been dreaming of. He was returning to the series. The news spread like wildfire. Within minutes, clips of his announcement were trending across fan groups and social media. platforms. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok exploded with reactions, fans crying, screaming, and celebrating the moment they had prayed for. Hashtags like hashtag Ty Borden returns and hashtag Heartland Season 19 surged, uniting a global audience that had carried the memory of Ty for nearly 5 seasons. For many, it didn't even feel real. After all, how could a character who had been written off so definitively possibly return? But Graham's words made it clear this wasn't a rumor, this wasn't speculation. This was official. In his announcement, Graham didn't just confirm his return, he explained why. He spoke openly about his time away, about how he had needed to grow as a person, to pursue other passions, and to find a deeper sense of purpose outside the show. He admitted that saying goodbye back in season 14 was one of the hardest choices he had ever made, but one he believed was necessary at the time. And then, with sincerity that could be felt in every word, he revealed that something had shifted. He felt called back, not only to acting but specifically to Heartland. He described the decision as a full-circle moment. For him, Heartland was never just a job. It was a family, a story, and a home. He spoke of the love he still carried for his fellow cast members, Amber Marshall, Sean Johnston, Michelle Morgan, and the rest of the Heartland family. He admitted that seeing the show continue, season after season, reminded him that Heartland was bigger than any one character. But at the same time, he couldn't ignore the pull of the role that had defined his career and touched so many lives. The most emotional part of his announcement came when he spoke directly to the fans. Graham acknowledged the letters, the petitions, the endless comments begging for his return. He said he had seen them, read them, and carried them with him during his time away. Their dedication, their love for Ty and Amy's story, had been a constant reminder of how powerful storytelling can be. And now he wanted to honor that love by giving something back, but he didn't promise a simple revival. Instead, Graham teased that his return would be different. He hinted at a storyline that would respect Ty's past while exploring new layers of his character. He promised it wouldn't be a gimmick or a cheap twist, but something deeply meaningful, something that would feel right not just for him, but for the fans who had kept the flame alive all these years. Those words were enough to send the fandom into overdrive, with speculation running wild about how Ty could possibly re-enter the story. Behind the scenes, even cast members began sharing their excitement. Amber Marshall posted a photo with Graham, smiling in front of the familiar Alberta backdrop. Sean Johnston wrote about the joy of welcoming a long-lost son back to the Heartland family. The cast's response confirmed what Graham had said in his announcement. This wasn't just a business decision. It was personal. It was about family, both on screen and off. For the first time in years, the entire Heartland fandom was united in pure joy. Longtime viewers who had drifted away after Ty's death now promised to tune back in. Newer fans, who had only known the show without him, were eager to finally experience the character they had heard so much about. The announcement had not just revived Ty Borden, it had reignited the very heart of Heartland. In a single message. Graham Wardle had done what no plot twist could achieve on its own. He had bridged the gap between past and present, between loss and hope. His return wasn't just about Ty's comeback, it was about honoring the connection between actor, character, and audience. It was about healing a wound that had lingered for years, proving that sometimes the stories we think are over can still surprise us with a brand new beginning. Asterisk the announcement of Graham. Wardle's return isn't just exciting news, it's a shift that could completely reshape the future of Heartland. For nearly 5 seasons, the show has been defined by Ty's absence. His death in season 14 was more than a storyline. It was a turning point that redefined Amy's life, altered the rhythm of the family, and changed the way fans experienced the series. Bringing him back now, in season 19, is not just about nostalgia. It's about rewriting the emotional heartbeat of the show. First, let's talk about Amy. For years, viewers have watched her carry the heavy weight of grief while raising Lyndy as a single mother. Her resilience has been inspiring, but every fan could see that something was missing. No matter how strong Amy became, there was always an invisible shadow by her side, the shadow of Ty. His return has the power to restore a part of her that was lost, but it also raises new questions. How will she react after years of healing, moving forward and learning to stand on her own? Will his comeback reignite their love exactly as it once was, or will it challenge Amy to face the complexity of opening her heart again? The possibilities are endless, and each one promises emotional storytelling of the highest order. Then there's Lyndy. For her entire life, she has grown up without truly knowing her father. She has only seen him through stories, photographs, and memories that others share. The thought of Lyndy meeting Ty, whether in person or through a symbolic moment, is enough to bring tears to the eyes of any fan. Imagine the scenes: Amy introducing her daughter to the man who shaped so much of her life, Ty looking at Lyndy with pride, realizing that even in his absence his legacy lived on. That reunion alone could be one of the most powerful moments. In Heartland history, Jack Bartlett, the family patriarch, is another character whose world could be transformed by Ty's return. Jack always saw Ty as more than a son-in-law. He was the boy who grew into a man right under his roof. Jack guided him, scolded him, supported him, and ultimately loved him like family. Losing Ty broke Jack in ways that were rarely spoken but always felt. Now, the chance for Jack to see Ty again could be a healing moment not just for him, but for fans who know how much Ty meant to the man who kept the family together through thick and thin. Beyond the emotional reunions, there's the larger question: how does the show handle this return? Heartland has always prided itself on realistic storytelling. When Ty died, it was treated with heartbreaking authenticity, not as a fleeting twist. Bringing him back in Season 19 requires equal care. Will it be through flashbacks, dreams, or visions that allow Amy and Lyndy to connect with Ty in a new way? Or is the show preparing for something even bigger, an unexpected twist that redefines what fans thought they knew? Whatever form it takes, one thing is clear: Ty's return changes everything. It reopens doors for storytelling that many thought were permanently closed. Amy and Ty's partnership was the backbone of the show for over a decade, and bringing him back creates opportunities for new adventures, new challenges, and new lessons about love and family. Season 19 has the chance to blend the nostalgia of the past with the fresh excitement of the future, creating episodes that feel both familiar and groundbreaking. And let's not forget the audience itself. The return of Ty Borden is more than just a character comeback. It's a gift to the fans who have stayed loyal through the highs and lows. Many viewers admitted that Ty's death made the show almost unwatchable for them, while others stayed, but longed for closure. By bringing Wardle back, the creators are acknowledging the power of the fans' voices. They are saying, "We hear you, we see you, and we want to honor your connection to this story." That decision alone strengthens the bond between the show and its audience in a way that few series ever achieve. There's also the symbolic meaning of his return. Ty's absence represented grief, loss, and moving on universal experiences that touched people far beyond the ranch. His return now represents hope, resilience, and the possibility of second chances. It reminds fans that no matter how final something seems, life always has room for unexpected miracles. This theme resonates deeply with Heartland's core message: that healing is possible, that family endures, and that love has a way of finding its path back home. Season 19 now stands as one of the most anticipated seasons in the show's long history. With Wardle's return, every episode carries a new sense of urgency and anticipation. Viewers will tune in not just to see Ty again, but to discover how his presence reshapes the lives of everyone around him. Will Amy and Ty rebuild their love? Will Lyndy finally have the father figure she has long deserved? Will the family find new strength in being whole again? These questions will drive the season forward, ensuring that each moment is filled with emotion and meaning. In the end, Wardle's return to Heartland is not simply about reviving a character. It's about reigniting the very spirit of the show. It's about reminding fans why they fell in love with this series in the first place. And most of all, it's about proving that even in the darkest chapters, the story isn't over until the light finds its way back.